Griffseth. Coach Griffseth was named the 26th head coach in the history of the men's program at Monmouth in 2011. Under his guidance, the basketball programs qualified for the Midwest Conference Tournament in 2015, 2018, 2019, and 2023. The 2018 squad was crowned regular season and tournament champions, which was the program's first conference title and NCAA appearance since 1990. Coach Griffseth has recruited and coached 11 All-Midwest Conference selections, 2 Conference Players of the Year, 3 All-Region performers, 1 All-American, and 30 academic All-Conference selections. Coach is from Maquoketa, Iowa, and he earned his undergraduate degree in '96 from then-conference rival Coe College. And I didn't know this until he got here that we actually played against each other while he was at Coe. But I think he was playing, I was sitting on the bench while he was trying to guard Lance Castle and Toby Weidman. But he got his, degree from Coe and his master's degree in education in 2001 from Wisconsin-Stevens Point. He resides in Monmouth with his wife Sarah, who's an All-American herself as a track athlete in her college days, and their 3 children. Coach Griffseth.
Yeah, trying to guard those 2 guys is a good way of putting it. Being at Coe, it was nice coming over here and playing against Coach Glasgow's teams and getting a little taste of what Monmouth had. So when the job opened up, it obviously piqued my interest. For this year's team, we returned 8 out of our top 10. From a team that finished 3rd in the conference last season and qualified for the conference tournament. We're led by a trio of guards, David Williams, who's a senior from Rockford, Illinois. He was the Midwest Conference Newcomer of the Year. We have Kyle Taylor, a sophomore from Moline High School. And then we have Jordan Hill, who is a junior from Chicago. Those 3 guards should provide really quality play in the backcourt for us, and so we're really looking forward to seeing what they can do together out on the court this season. We also have a number of local players, all right, that will be major contributors to our program. Declan Flynn from right here in Monmouth at United High School. He was a returning starter for us this year. We also have Gannon Greenman from Ridgewood High School. Turner Plummer from Canton. We lost our big guy the other night to an ankle injury, so Turner will be starting for him tomorrow night. And then we also have Max Marin from Riverdale High School. So we have a local flavor to our team. We're excited about the season, no doubt about it. We have a tough non-conference schedule that should prepare us very well for the upcoming season, the upcoming conference play. Currently, we sit at 1-2 with losses on the road at Eastern Illinois, which, when I schedule the games, it sounds like a good idea, and then when you go play them, you kind of wonder if maybe you should have just played another Division III opponent. But our guys like that type of challenge and like to test themselves. It also provides a little bit of a reality check for some of them too, so that's always good to have in your back pocket as a coach. We lost a tough one at Eureka. It's one of those games that you definitely look back on the season and see it as a missed opportunity. But we did get a big win the other night against Concordia Chicago. It was a little more exciting down the stretch than what I would have hoped, but we were able to hang on and pull out with a 94-92 victory. As far as the conference, how that shapes up this year, all the teams return quite a bit, so it's going to be very, very competitive again. We are currently picked in the preseason poll to finish 4th. Illinois College is the reigning champion. They're picked to finish 1st, and then Cornell, Ripon, and then Monmouth. So we're excited. We've added some we've added 3 transfers to the mix that I think can be significant contributors for us. Brendan McNally is a 6'4" forward, very explosive, athletic. He's from Paw Paw, Illinois. We have Gavin Keese, who's from Burlington, Notre Dame. He's unfortunately he's injured right now, so we haven't been able to have him at practice for the last couple of weeks, but we're hoping to get him back soon. He's a 6'5" forward type that can really shoot the basketball and will help stretch out defenses for us. And then we have Ryan Schimmel, who is a 6'3" transfer from Blackhawk, and just tough kid, knows the game. So we're excited about all three of those and what they can contribute to our team this season. Like to give special thanks, he's not here, but my assistant coach, Jeff McChristy, he'll be with us for the third consecutive season. He's a former player, Monmouth College alum, and he does a great job for me, and as a part-time assistant, he puts in a lot of time and effort, and feel very fortunate to have him as part of our staff. If there's any questions,
I got one.
yes?
So Grinnell, they were known for just constantly shooting threes and scoring just an insane amount of points. Are they on your schedule this year?
Yeah, we have to play them, so unfortunately, I don't mind playing them.
How do you coach against a team that just...
Sure, you try to keep it simple, because so much of it is just reacting to keeping the floor spaced, keeping the ball moving, because they will give you opportunities. I always tell our guys we need to try to finish 70% of our field goal attempts against Grinnell, which is, it's difficult to do, but we talk about finishing off two, finishing with two around the basket, being strong with the ball, trying to limit your turnovers. We had a stretch where we'd beaten them 9 out of 10 times, so we were having a lot of success again. And the one time we lost against them, only 2 officials showed up to the game. So I remind their coach about that all the time. Recently, though, we've had, like last year, we had a whole new group of guys. And the first time you play against Grinnell, it's difficult, to say the least. And so when you have some experienced guys who've seen it before, it definitely pays off. But you got to take care of the basketball. You got to get your butt back on D, and rebounding is a big key against them too, because there's a lot of long rebounds, and they get loose for a lot of those 3-point opportunities off those offensive rebounds if you're not taking care of the glass. Yeah.
Did you work on, are you working on finish the game?
Yes. Yeah, it was making some free throws would be good, right? So free throw shooting was an issue for us last year, and so I'm hoping we've got some kids who can shoot the basketball, and we had the right guys at the line a lot of times, but when you're going 1 for 2 and then they're coming down and throwing in a 3, that lead evaporates pretty quick. So yeah, we're definitely cognizant of that and want to make sure that we make some improvements in that area. Yeah.
Because how do you match up with Knox this year? I saw you guys play at Knox last year, won that game.
Yeah.
It was real physical, well matched game. It seemed like to me. How do you guys match up?
Knox was real heavy last year with 5th-year seniors, so they have a pretty much a new team this year. The Gallery kid will be back for them, who's a really good forward, and then I saw where the Wyndham kid was, I think he took a year off or something, but he's back in school for him. But other than that, there's not many names that I recognize on the roster, so I have not seen them play yet. They just played a team that we play on Tuesday, so when we finish with Dubuque on Friday night, I'll start prepping for that game, and I'll be able to watch a little bit of Knox. Yep.
Coach?
Thank you.
All right, well, let's go to the women's basketball team, and let me introduce head basketball coach Michelle Decoux. Coach Decoux is a 2018 graduate from the University of Dallas, where she received her Bachelor of Arts in Business. She was a three-time Division III All-American player and set and still holds school records in blocks and shooting percentage, while ranking in the top 5 there in rebounds, field goals made, and points scored. She finished her career at Dallas with 1,333 points, a 48.7 field goal percentage, 842 rebounds, 134 blocks, 140 assists, and 136 steals. She joined Hastings College as a graduate assistant coach while earning a Master of Arts in Teaching in 2020 and serving as a head coach to the junior varsity team there. She stayed on at Hastings as an assistant, helping the Broncos to 2 conference finals appearances and a pair of NAIA national tournament berths. She was named head women's basketball coach at Monmouth in May of this summer. Coach?
Thank you all. I'm very excited to have found Monmouth and found my way back to the Division III level after taking time away at Hastings College, which is NAIA. This year we have 15 on our roster. Of those 15, 11 are sophomores. I have one 5th year who's returning from injury last year, though she's contributed significantly before injury at Christmas. And then I have a junior and 2 incoming freshmen. I inherited this team. These freshmen I was not able to recruit yet, but I have a very growth-minded and hungry group. Of the 11 sophomores and 15 returning, 5 of them contributed significantly last year. I'm behind 4 very significant contributing seniors who graduated out. So largely in practices and in our games so far, we've been focused on building our own team chemistry under a new system offensively and learning to play with each other, since most of my athletes who are contributing now saw very limited minutes last year. Of those returners, Jane Mitchell, my 5th year, is one of them. She'll be starting two guards. She got injured at Christmas last year and did not return until the fall of this year. Also Ashley Jones, who started and played a good deal of minutes. She's from Abingdon, just down the road. Flores will start she was starting at her 3, and we're going to move her on to point in these next 2 games to see if we can't get a different look that way. Madison Heitch, also a sophomore, will be starting for us as our now 3 guard. Ella Goodrich at our 4, and then Kirsten Cox, who saw very limited minutes last year, has been stepped up tremendously in this fall and in these games so far at the starting 5 position. We're also thankful to have Kinley Stearns back, who tore her ACL on the first day of practice her freshman year. So she was out all of last year recovering following surgery. She made her debut in Co. our first game a couple of days ago, and we're slowly building in her minutes, but I can positively see her positively impacting the team once she is able to come back more fully. We'll also look to Avery Rangel for good minutes coming off the bench, Olivia Dingus, and our 2 freshmen, Danielle Beach from Geneseo, who recently won 2nd team all-conference on the soccer team, has now jumped over to basketball. She will add speed and athleticism to the court for sure. And then Taj Hansard out of Rockford, who is very shifty, handles the ball very well. But with the group being so young and relatively new across the board to the college level, it's been a big adjustment to the speed of the game and the strategy. So we focus a lot on the why and the purpose and what the looks we're trying to get, rather than getting sped out of what we want to do offensively. In our preseason poll, we were picked 7th overall, behind we have a lot of returning, I think, talent across the conference as well. A couple of new coaches in the conference besides myself, one at Knox. So we're very excited for this season, and I'm looking forward to the growth strides that we make across the board.
You know, Yeah, question, and then I got a recommendation. So the question is, I'll give you that first. The question is, do you see your strength on the perimeter or in the paint with what you've inherited?
So far, our strength has been with our post players, with Kirsten Cox and Ella Goodrich. They've been contributing very significantly in our first 2 games, but we are more guard heavy, just depth wise. We lack the depth at that 5 spot. So.
Okay. That brings my recommendation. So from Abingdon, another gal from Abingdon, she decided to, she's my neighbor. She decided to go to Carl Sandburg for this year. But her name's Brooke Peeper. She's a power girl in the paint, so just someone to keep an eye on as Carl Sandburg plays their year.
Absolutely. Thank you. I will keep an eye out for it. Also, very much thank you to my assistant coach, Jim Cole, who has been a Monmouth alum, played here and lived for a while, and he has been with this program now for the past, I believe, 2 or 3 coaches before me. Big shout out to him, and he's been a great help in the recruiting side and having built up a base of athletes to keep an eye on and to recruit from as well.
Michelle, we had a question from an audience member before the committee here. What brought you to Monmouth, and then what are you most excited about in your first season here?
Yeah, so I was hoping to get back to the Division III level at some point. I'm originally from Colorado, and there isn't a very big footprint of Division III there. So I was ready to make the next step, lead my own program, and I found Monmouth on a college search. There are databases for it. So I came out, interviewed, and it was, the warmth and welcoming of the community, the beautiful facilities that we have access to, and that really kind of drew me and made it. Plus, I got to meet the team in my interview, and we connected a lot. A lot of the goals and the way we saw the program developing were in line, and they have a great personality that we all got along with very well. So I'm most excited to see them progress. Usually you can make a big leap from your sophomore year to junior once you've been around a system more and get more comfortable at this level. So I'm very excited, even though it's frustrating to go through these growing pains at this point, to see that finally click and come through for them. They're such a hardworking group and resilient and smart, so that's what I'm most looking forward to watching them do this season.
Have these guys made you aware of a little rivalry you have to the school in the east?
Yes. Yes. Yes, yeah.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right, next let's jump in the pool. Let me introduce head swim coach Jake Dacus. Coach Dacus is in his 3rd season as the head swim coach here at Monmouth. Over his first 2 years, the Fighting Scots swimmers have set 6 new school records and 37 program top 10 event times. Excuse me. While also improving both the overall men's and women's team GPAs. Prior to coming to Monmouth, Coach Dacus was an assistant coach for 5 years at St. Vincent's College and Pacific Lutheran University. While there, he helped each program qualify their first athlete for the NCAA Division III National Championships. Coach?
Yeah, thank you. So we're about halfway through our season now, and here in 2 weeks we've got our kind of fall semester final meet for the year, and then we go on a very long break over Christmas and whatnot, just praying that they all stay in shape over that. But things are really exciting right now. Our team we're just under half freshmen. We've got 9 freshmen on a team of 19, and then we've got a couple more sophomores, so we are very, very underclassmen heavy, which means there's a lot of energy on the pool deck all the time. And it is not always the most focused, but that's what the upperclassmen are for. They help keep us going the direction we need to be. So, it's been a really, really fun start to the year so far, and that is, in no small way thanks to, I have an assistant this year with Jen Jamar. Her husband's also our assistant baseball coach, and so they were coming to town. She reached out, and it was just a fantastic fit, where all the things that she's good at is what I'm not very good at. And so we're able to balance each other really, really well. And she does a much better job than I do of bringing spontaneous fun to the deck. Where I like, it's just like, let's get in and go. And she's like, okay, we're allowed to have a good time too. And so that's been a lot of fun, just keeping me on my toes as well as the swimmers themselves. But from a competitive standpoint, it's going to be a really weird year in comparison to the last two, where the last 2 years our men's and women's teams were very similar in that they were both projected to finish 7th or 8th in the conference, and that's where they were. For whatever reason it was this year, our men's team got much bigger because we didn't lose any of our returners. We didn't graduate anyone last year, so every single freshman boy just added to our numbers, and it also helps that they're all pretty fast. So while we're projected with our preseason polls to finish 7th, if you look at how meets have been going and everything else, we should probably be 5th. And if everything goes perfectly, we can finish 4th, but it never goes perfectly. On the women's side, we brought in a smaller class with only 3 of them, but all 3 of them are very talented, and then we got pretty lucky within the first 2 weeks of school that we had a transfer who decided to join us, Callie Tate. She's a local Monmouth kid. She grew up 3 blocks from campus, and as of last weekend, she is already a school record holder. So that was pretty fun to just, hey, coach, I think I want to come swim for you. Oh, okay, sure. Makes it really nice for us, but it's a smaller team on the women's side with only 8 of them, but those 8, 7 now, they have a lot of fun and they work hard every single day. So it's interesting to just see how in 1 year, how differently things can go. We're hoping the women are going to follow the men, here next year as well. Okay, any questions? Yeah.
How's recruiting work in the swimming?
So in the swimming world, it's interesting because with recruiting, it's very cut and dry. We know what your times are. And so, there's a time range that we look for within each event. And if you go that fast, then we're probably going to be reaching out to you. And so sometimes that means that we might reach out to someone on accident who is, a Division I talent that just swam one of their worst events, but it happened to fall within our range. But it means there's a very big pool of recruits out there, I know. But yeah, you just got to be willing to go find them. And fortunately, their time is their time, so they can't really lie about that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's an optimal size for a swim team? Like for just, let's say, men or just for the women?
Yeah.
I know with basketball, you play 5 at a time and
Right.
you kind of have a general sense, but what is it for swimming?
Yeah, so for swimming, ideally we'd like to be 18 per side, and that's simply because at our conference championship meet, you can score up to 18 men and 18 women. So, if we are 18 to 20 on both sides, then that is exactly where we want to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
All right, last but not least, let me introduce head track and field coach Brian Woodard. Coach Woodard has been a mainstay at Monmouth since graduating from the college in 1997, and he was elevated to his current position on July 1st, 2022. Before being head coach, Brian was the Fighting Scots assistant cross-country and track and field coach for 24 seasons, and also served as a strength and conditioning coach from 2009 to 2022. Coach Woodard took over as the throws coach in 2000 and was named the 2013 Indoor Track and Field Women's Assistant Coach of the Year by the United States Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association for his work with the throwers. That same year, he earned the Midwest Region Women's Assistant Coach of the Year for the 2nd consecutive year. Monmouth throwers have earned All-American status 30 times under Woodard's guidance, including 6 in 2013 when the Scots nearly crowned their first female national champion. At the 2013 NCAA Outdoor Championships, 8-time All-American Allison DeVore earned the highest women's finish in school history. Her hammer throw of 190 feet 10 inches was just 2 inches short of a national title. On the conference level, Brian has coached both the men's and women's indoor record holders in the shot put and weight throw. Outdoors, Coach Woodard's throwers lay claim to 4 league records. Coach Woodard resides in Galesburg with his wife Stephanie and 6 children. Coach.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. You'll have to excuse me a little bit. I got a little bit of an inner ear going, so if that sounds like I'm yelling, I'm not really really trying to do. Thanks for having me. Our team this year has grown quite a bit, actually. We a year ago, we were at 56 men and women combined. We graduated 14. This year, we are at a team of 76, 78. That's 34 women and now 44 men. We tried to bring in a lot of the local kids because we feel like the foundation of our program since the Stone Age when I was in school was predominantly local kids. We've done really well in Galesburg, Mercer County, Stark County, Roba. Those are some of our big additions to our program here this year, especially. I have three assistant coaches. Myself, I coach the throwers and actually get to coach the hurdlers now as well. But I don't look like it, but I was a hurdler back in the day. But I also have Coach Brady Hunt. He works with our distance kids from 800 meters up to 10,000. Also the head cross country coach. I have Kinsey Baker, who graduated in 2021, was a All-American and has the second fastest time in school history in the 200 for us. She works with our sprinters from 60 meters up to 400 meters, as well as working with the high jumpers. Then we've got Coach Tanner Johnson, who comes to us from, he was an undergrad at Central College and was a vaulter, worked with the multis a little bit there with the coaches there, and then did his grad assistantship at Truman State, where he worked with the multis initially, and due to some unforeseen circumstances became the interim head coach. Yes, he went from grad assistant to interim head coach within 8 months of being on campus. Him and I talk about that often. That's interesting to say the least. So he comes with us with a great deal of experience from both those different programs. Obviously, Division I program and Division III program. Central's done well nationally as well. In terms of our team, I really like where we're at right now. We filled a lot of holes that we had a year ago. With graduating some of our more talented kids, a couple vaulters and hurdlers, we had to fill those positions, but we had to fill them in other positions with triple jumpers and a lot of sprinters in this class, especially on the men's side. Anything else? Any questions? I feel like the old guy, they don't talk about all the things I want to talk about, so I just sound like I'm repeating. So
how your sport is one of those where you could see dual sport athletes. How many dual sport athletes do you have on the women or men's side out here?
Great question. Actually, before I came here, I just met with 27 of our younger kids that are coming from cross country and from football over to the track program. We'll add 12 football kids on Monday after the bowl game this weekend. And overall, we have 18 that are between soccer, volleyball, and football right now, so adding from all those programs. Yeah.
I apologize for attending Augustana College, but they were kind of a local rival. It seemed like for the longest amount of time there was another, was it Rushdie?
The Rushden boys.
There were like 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
They were all really good. And they all made life miserable for Augustana fans.
Yeah, and if we could find any more Rushdies, we'll take them.
It's such a long, maybe the back kid's not very good.
Yeah, they're not quite old enough yet. I think the oldest one right now is 6. So, but yeah, we'll take any of the Rushdies at any point. Yeah, all those boys, men now have did a great job for us. Helped us win a couple of the national championship trophies, the second, third, and fourth place trophies at the NCAA championships. Luke was probably the most highly crowned gentleman of the group, but still holds our school record of 46.78 in the 400 meters. They've done a great job for us. All of them work for Caterpillar too. No, John Deere, sorry. John Deere. Yeah. Let's see, Josh, Luke, Shane, Jordan, Ethan. All 5. I win the prize.
So, I asked a question earlier when we first got here about how's recruiting going, obviously well for you, and the rest of you, this is kind of a question for everybody. I know the answer, but it's different at every school. Are we done with COVID? Is all your recruiting issues as far as COVID done with now? You don't have to worry about, you still have some 50-year kids that, that are out but, I mean, that's not an issue anymore, you can get into places, you can get all your kids now. Because the ones that are seniors in high school right now are the ones who lost their 8th grade part of freshman year in high school. So, it's just a rhetorical question, and I kind of know, but just talk a little bit about that. Are we done?
I hope so. With recruiting, we're done. But in terms of dealing with 5th and 6th year guys, there are guys taking 6th year in college as well, up at Ripon. Seems like we've got a couple guys that I can't wait to graduate up there. In terms of what we're doing recruiting wise, getting into facilities and you know, or hosting kids on campus. We talked briefly before we started. We have a track visit day December 8th, and we have 16 kids coming to campus that day. So in terms of getting to where we need to, COVID's over. Are we still dealing with some of the aftermath, unfortunately? Yes, student-wise, we're still dealing with that academically because, please forgive me, I feel like COVID definitely made people lazy, just because kids got that extra day, you know, extended time to turn things in, and they're still trying to do that in college as well. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit. Yeah, we're still dealing with the aftermath, but I would say in general, in terms of recruiting, we're kind of beyond that.
We're talking about not sending a bunch of 5th years.
Yeah, from a competitive standpoint, it's still an issue, no question about it. I think there's certain institutions that maybe have graduate programs, and they're able to attract some transfer students to enroll.
1 year.
Yeah, enroll for 1 year and play. Where there's some institutions that we're giving like 5th year tuition free to their students. So yeah, there's I think every team we've played has had at least 1 or 2 5th year students in their program, and that'll continue throughout the season. There's some people in our conference that we'll have to face.
So the conference didn't institute a.
No. Like, I thought one of IC's guys was gone. It seemed like he'd been there as long as I've been at Monmouth, and I looked at the roster, and I mean, I saw pictures of him graduating, you know, but I guess he's going back to pick up a minor or something, and he'll be back again for this year. So, yeah. So it's, from a competitive standpoint, it's been an issue, no doubt about it.
This question is for all the coaches. We're coming upon the holiday season. If you had one Christmas wish that the community and alumni could help you fulfill, what would that be, that wish?
Staffing for me, I'd be a full-time assistant.
And I'll mimic that, full-time assistant for sure.
We have 25 guys in our program. We run a varsity and a JV program, and you know, I invited my assistant to be here, but he starts his shift at UPS at 4:30 in the morning, so this is kind of his time to sleep before he comes and helps us out in practice.
Oh, I was gonna say, with our weight room and how great it is, I'd love a strength and conditioning coach to kind of oversee the weight room side of their development as athletes. They do a great job, you know, trying to help them on the court, but that act as an extra piece on the weight room side for them to be better. And I'm not certified. I work with other coaches who are certified to try and put a program together, but it would be nice to have like a dedicated person to oversee. And Christmas is my birthday, so that's kind of it's a double Christmas.
I hate sounding like the old guy who's been there forever and appreciate everything that I have. I remember back when there wasn't anything at all. So, you know, we were practicing up an old weight gym with a couple of roll-out runways. I feel pretty fortunate about what we have. In terms of needs, it's not really a need. If you could grant me anything, it would just we have our first meet December 2nd this year, which is completely different than anything we've ever done before. If you can grant me anything, you can keep them in shape from December 2nd until we get them back on January 6th. If you can do that, then please do that.
I guess as I travel 70 miles every time I come over for a basketball game, and in years past, the ladies, we enjoyed watching more, sorry, than men. But, you know, I look in the stands and of course, you know, the audience there is very sparse. And yet the programs are great. And the players are playing their hearts out and stuff like that. And then you wonder how can you get more alums and community people to enjoy that, to me, social evening. And come out, one suggestion I would have is maybe shorten up the time frame, the open time frame between the games, because it does make it a little late travel back home. But, you know, I'm assuming the college has done some work on figuring out how to get the attendance up.
Sure, I think, you know, we talked beforehand about the pep band and the cheerleaders and trying to create a game day atmosphere. And I think that's definitely been improved. You know, I'll be honest with you, when we go on the road, our crowds are pretty good compared to other people that we see. You know, when I was growing up and I was playing, if there was a basketball game in the community, that was the thing to do. You know, now you can go stream 300 games that, you know, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And a lot of people, I think, choose to stay at home and come to their home and watch games there. We feel, I tell my team all the time, we're going to get the support that we deserve. We play a good quality brand of basketball and play hard. Eventually people will take notice, and by the end of the season, you know, once we get into February, January and February, those seats start to fill up, and I still remember the night we hosted the conference tournament, and that was probably the best atmosphere I've ever played or coached in, and it was a lot of fun. So we need to put the product out on the floor, and then I think people will show up.
Any other final questions before we wrap up? We're just after 1 o'clock. Nothing? Okay. Coaches, let's give them a round of applause, please. Thank you for coming. And thank to everyone here for joining us today. We hope that we'll see you at the next Monmouth Associates Luncheon, which is on February 15th. We'll have local alumni Jared and Rachel Kunkel and Julie Martin at Land Management Partners and LMP Agency will join us to talk about their Monmouth experience and their path after graduation. Also, one last note, do we have the winners' sports schedules in here by chance? I have some. If any of you would like the full big poster for the winter sports schedules so that you can see when the teams play and when they perform, then just stay after for a few minutes and I'll get those to you. So again, thank you very much.